welcome to my channel. I know it's been a while since I filmed a video. Today I'm going to be filming my labor and delivery story. So my due date was February 7th, and if you watch my other videos you know that I went past my due date. So I was scheduled for Monday the 13th. I was scheduled to go to my doctor and have them insert a Cervidil. It's some sort of medicine. It's supposed to thin out your cervix. But when I woke up Sunday morning, my water was leaking. It had ruptured. So, and I had to go to the hospital. I called my doctor. She was like, go ahead and go to the hospital. You may want to eat and stuff before you go. So I ate and I went to the hospital. They checked. They thought that it wasn't my water. They thought it was something else. So they ran the test and they came back that my water had broken, but I wasn't in active labor or anything because I wasn't having contractions. So they said it would take about an hour to get my room ready so that I should go ahead and start walking around the hospital so I could try to start labor. But so that's what I did. I walked around the hospital and I didn't get any contractions, so they said that I could eat. So I ate, I ordered lunch, I ate, and then my OBGYN came in and said that at 5 she would insert the Cervidil to start thinning out my cervix. So around the time that she came in, it was about 1 o'clock. So I had ate, and then took a nap and stuff. And then I started getting slight contractions, but they were like the ones that I was having before, like kind of like Braxton Hicks, but a little bit stronger. So it was nothing. They weren't consistent. So yeah. So at 5 o'clock they put the Cervidil in, and they said that if I get to 5 a.m. and my contractions aren't consistent or anything, or I'm not dilating, they're going to start me on Pitocin. So, when I got to the hospital, before I went to the hospital, I was a half a centimeter dilated at my last doctor's appointment, which was that Tuesday before. So when I went to the doctor's appointment, to the hospital, I was at 1 centimeter. Just crazy. So I was at 1 centimeter. So for 12 hours with the Cervidil in, I dilated to a 2. I dilated from a 1 to a 2. And I was having contractions, but they were slight. So they started me on Pitocin at 5 a.m. And my goal was, when I went to the hospital, was to have a natural labor, no Pitocin, no epidural. But as we know, everything doesn't go as planned. So I at 5 a.m. they started me on Pitocin. I went to sleep. My contractions started coming stronger. They were like 5 minutes apart from like 7 a.m. to like, I don't know. But so I really wasn't dilating. So at like 3 p.m. my doctor checked me, and I was at a 4. So I was dilating, but not fast enough, and my water had ruptured that Sunday before, so it had already been 24 hours since my water ruptured. So it was kind of a process. I had to get moving faster. So my doctor said that the pain that I was in, which to me it didn't feel that painful because I slept through my labor. I slept majority of the time. I would wake up for the really painful contractions and just ask my fiance or whatever to rub my back, and then I would go right back to sleep. So to me, labor, the contractions weren't painful at all, but she said that the pain may be causing me to not dilate. So at about 4 p.m. she asked me, no, about 3 o'clock, she asked me, did I want to get the epidural and see if that would help me dilate faster. I told her I wanted to wait an hour and see if I would dilate anymore. And she agreed, so I waited. And then at 4 o'clock, she came back and checked me. And I believe I had dilated 1 more centimeter from a 3 to a 4. So I said, yeah, I'll just go ahead and get the epidural. So I got the epidural, and they laid me on my side in the bed, and they had this peanut-shaped ball in between my legs. And I went back to sleep. After I went back to sleep, the doctor, she came in and checked me at like 6 o'clock. So she came in and checked me at 6 o'clock, and I was at a 10. So in 2 hours, I had dilated 6 centimeters. So yeah, it was time to push. And the crazy thing is my mom and the baby's dad were supposed to be in the room for me to push, but my mom wasn't even there. Like, I don't know where she was, but I had been calling her for, well, I hadn't been, but my family had been calling her, and my sisters for like 2 hours telling them like, hey, y'all need to get here, it's gonna be time soon. So when they told me, I was like, I called her, I was like, it's time to push. I guess she thought it was going to take a lot longer than what it did, but so it was time to push. And the doctor, she waited for her to get there. It took her like 5 minutes to get there. So once she got there, the doctor had already suited up and everything, and it was time to push. So once it was time to push, though, the crazy thing is with me being in labor, pretty much from Sunday. Well, when I noticed my water had ruptured, was Sunday at like 8 a.m. And I went to the hospital at like 10 a.m. on Sunday. From then all the way until Monday night at 6 o'clock, I'm like, wow, I've been in labor trying to get this baby here, and she was 5 days overdue, 6 days at this point. My due date was the next day, so I'm like, oh, I mean, not my due date, I would have been 41 weeks the next day, that Tuesday, which was Valentine's Day. So I was like, oh wow. So the crazy thing is I thought it was going to take me forever to push, but once I start pushing, and I knew because I could feel her head was down there because it hurt to have my legs closed. So it took me 14 minutes to push. The pushing was not painful at all. I didn't feel that ring of fire that everybody talks about. Yeah, like, to me, labor was not painful at all. Not as painful as I thought, but I think it's because I psyched myself out from the beginning. I told myself, like, it's gonna hurt really, really bad. Like, so then it wasn't that painful. That's probably why. But either way, I'm just happy it wasn't as bad as I thought it was gonna be. So, yeah, it was really exciting. When she came out, I thought I was gonna cry. I didn't cry. I actually laughed. It was funny to me. I don't know why. I was just so happy. I just started laughing. But when she was in the womb, actually, yeah, because when my water really did break, it was like at 3 p.m. My water broke, and it was a lot of water that came out. But my daughter had pooped in the womb, and it was a lot. It's crazy. And they call it meconium. So it was green, and it was a lot, like a lot. So the respiratory people had to come in after she was born, and I didn't get to hold her as soon as she was born. They just picked her up and let me look at her. But she was so tiny, and I thought she was going to be big because the whole pregnancy they told me she was going to be kind of fat and long. But she really was long. She was 19 and a half inches. But I was thinking that she was going to be really fat. She was only 5 pounds and 15 ounces. She was a little tiny baby. Like, even preemie diapers were too big for her. But yeah, so excited. It was just like the best feeling in the world when she finally did come out. It was like, I don't know how to describe it. it was just like the happiest I've ever been in my whole entire life. Then when I saw her, I was just so surprised. It's just so cute, my baby. But yeah, and she's been a good baby since she's been born. She sleeps all the time. Now she's 2 weeks. She's almost 3 weeks. She'll be 3 weeks on Monday, and today is Friday. So yeah. But I'm gonna show you guys her, and she is sleeping. Her name is Aria. Her middle name is Summer. But she's a really good baby. Overall, she sleeps a lot. Probably do more videos on her once she gets a little bit older, because now all she does is sleep. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching my labor and delivery story. And comment below if your situation was similar.